Hello Dota 2 fans and welcome back. This is Chicago Ted coming to you with another episode of the Dota 2 Replay Cast series. This ID, I don't have it up next to me so I can't read it off at the start, but it will be in the title, so no worries about that. I'm really looking forward to bringing you guys this game though. It looks like it's going to be a fun one, so without further ado, let's get this one rolling. This time around, on the dire side, it's going to be Moomin Rider playing the Phantom Assassin with a couple of characters I don't know, but we'll just say it's Wraith King on the Wraith King. Huh? Okay, dropping a banana. I didn't even know it was a taunt. He's going to be on the Venomancer with BNZ playing the Clinks, and finally Mandirigma, sure, on the Skyrath Mage. This is actually hard. For the Radiant, it's going to be Rock Roll on the Anti-Mage with Mercy Touch on the Crystal Maiden. So far, so good. Oh My Swift is going to be on the Pudge with Squishy Fluffy playing the Nature's Prophet. And finally, Kitsune on the Disruptor. That wasn't that bad. So it looks like we had a rune split 50-50. Yeah, just about. Anti-Mage grabbing at the bottom. Venomancer getting the top. As far as the wards go, a nice uphill ward for the Radiant side. It's going to help Oh My Swift land those hooks when the time comes. And I think Riding Rider needs to be very careful, at least maybe have his own. But as far as the Dyer's wards go, they have both runes warded, so that option's not going to be open to him. Coming out about the 2 to 3 minute mark when that Pudge gets a level 2 or level 3 hook is going to be a really big issue for this Phantom Assassin. Looking at it down the line, I mean, this is a squishy hero, so a level 3 hook will have to a third of her HP pool, and the rest of it's just chasing her down. Now, she can blink away, but really, when do you want to do that? And even now, it's starting to be a problem. She's got nothing to blink to. She's going to be in a whole lot of issues. If the hook lands, it doesn't even need the hook to land. He's going to go for it anyway. Oh My Swift will grab the first blood onto Riding Rider in spectacular fashion. That's exactly what we were talking about, but perhaps a little bit sooner. I figured, wait for level 2 or 3 hook and then land the hook, but the issue that melee laners face when dealing... Oh, actually, BNZ, he might be able to get a kill on Mercy Touch. They're going to go out for another Arcane Bolt. Maybe, no, he's out of mana. The tower is going to strike on a Mandirigma. Mandirigma. I'll just call you Mandarik, sure. It's a tongue twister. Almost went down himself to the tower, but going back to the earlier point, the issue that most melee laners actually Riding Rider, this is not a thing you want to do, but Oh My Swift decides not to punish it. But in the bottom lane, BMZ is going to bring down Rock Roll. Looks like Mercy Touch wants to make this one a trade, but it's not going to happen. A very worth it kill for the Dire to grab down here, and proving to be a tough lane for this Anti-Mage. His skill build opting for the blink and the mana break, and though this has its merits, when you're up against a double ranged lane and you can't adequately blink forward and drain their mana without taking a sizable amount of harass, typically what you want to do is go for that just the value point and the spell shield and hope that that protects you as, well, okay, Nature's Prophet will die to a creep. Unsure how that's even possible, but, oh wait, a ranged creep. You let it hit him. Okay, that explains everything, actually. Oh My Swift with a Haste Rune, though Riding Rider's going to stay pretty far back. I don't think he can comfortably dive under tower. I mean, he can try for it, but the tower will probably deal a good 8th to 16th of his HP pool, and plus the PA, that's a really, really dead Pudge, so... BS, missing a Venomous Gale up top will not amount into anything. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Mercy Touch walking away, but going back to the earlier point, getting that value point into the spell shield will help a lot dealing with the harass of the Skyrath Mage. The one issue with Clinks is it's physical, to the best of my knowledge, yeah. So that doesn't get blocked by the spell shield, and for the most part, you do want to try to drain them out of the Clinks, but you just cannot go forward when you're dealing with both the Clinks and a Skyrath Mage. As Riding Rider, he's actually dead here. He blinks to a creep, but it's not far enough away to get him out of the range of the Rot. So Oh My Swift, with the Tranquil Boots, will heal himself right back up to a sizable amount of HP. With the bottle going, though, it also works to help him out a bit. Crystal Maiden dies in the bottom lane to Mandirigma. That is to be expected. Rock Roll could also be in a lot of trouble here, and it looks like he will be. The Skyrath Mage Clinks lane proven to be troublesome, but Oh My Swift, or sorry, Squishy Fluffy will be on the bottom lane and brings down Mandirigma. Won't find BNZ though. The invisibility helps him get away from that. Kitsune, the Venomous Gale, finally lands, and so it looks like they should be able to bring him down. Wraith King hits for a couple bits of damage. The glimpse back, but Keha will be able to bring that kill to fruition. It's Radiant's Courier. Where does it die? Okay, it dies, it looks like it died to BNZ. Double damage clinks. Would you look at that? So Squishy Fluffy, the Courier said he can't do anything about it. He also can't really jungle well, as Oh My Swift will go for the Dismember out onto Riding Rider. The bottle's going to help Rider, and so will the Venomous Gale. Oh My Swift trying for the deny, but the tower hits like, I got you, bro. And Riding Rider will go ahead and get himself a kill off the back of some help from Keha BS, but I mean, help is help. And so that was a double kill lane for the Pudge that just goes right around and gives a kill to the PA. And I mean, the common thing to be is you really want to get the first blood and you really want to get that second kill, but if you don't continue your lead and you end up giving away kills after that, then it really doesn't work in your favor. As okay, well, Oh My Swift will turn it right around. That one I actually kind of want to see because okay, brilliant hook. Oh My Swift, well played. Focusing on the bottom lane a little much here, as rightfully so, Rock and Roll might be in a bit of trouble, but he's got a blink up and running, though the Arcane Seal and a Mercy Touch, and BNZ, 3 hits, does a massive sum of damage. The Frostbite will prevent him from attacking, though, in which case they probably cannot chase much further. Crystal Nova's out, BNZ is just going to go ahead and pop himself into the Skeleton Walk, which means they can't hit him any further, as Rock and Roll will go for the 2-2 build. No points in stats, no points in spell shield. A very risky style in this lane, but he's also got the Orb of Venom. Huh, I guess it's not a unique attack modifier, so why not, right? Interesting maneuver. Haven't seen it before, but I can see its merits, especially when you blink forward to get the aggressive maneuvers rolling. However, this is going to be still going to be tough for him. I can see it working when dealing with heroes like Matarigma, but BNZ, he's got a sizable amount of mana that he's working with, so if Anti-Mage tries to blink forward and drain all that away, he will be able to get the Skeleton Walk out, and, I mean, he'll be safe and sound. Plus, the bonus movement speed from Skeleton Walk almost certainly surpasses the movement speed loss that you get from the Orb of Venom. As Oh My Swift, he's lining up another hook in the mid lane. Though, I mean, I don't think Vision's really working at his advantage. Oh My Swift has no real vision of the Phantom Assassin. Likewise, the Phantom Assassin has some decent vision of the Pudge, or at least can extrapolate well enough where he is. So, top lane, we might have Kitsune in a bit of trouble. They just need to get a Venomous Gale off, but it's actually down for 12. Doesn't matter, as Kitsune will get brought down. A 4 for 6 so far, as Oh My Swift will be the next one on the chopping block. We'll go in for a Dismember, though. That does heal him, but unfortunately, there's too much damage coming in that it will not counteract it. So, all the while, Squishy Fluffy still farming these Ancients, and, I mean, doing all right at it. His net worth, because of it, is 3rd highest in the board. His CS, pretty abysmal, but the CS and net worth that you get from Ancients is pretty nice, as Keha will drop the Poison Nova, but it won't, actually will net him a kill, and BNZ is going to go in and secure it, because why not? Kitsune was there to try for the deny, but isn't quite happening, and BNZ actually might scout out the Ancients. I think he had a decent idea this is going on, but unless he's got a ward up on the high ground, he's not going to be able to bring down Squishy Fluffy. No way for him to get vision there, so it looks like BNZ will sack it and move on with his life, as Oh My Swift still lining up for these hooks. He's on the high ground, but Riding Rider has a ward up on the high ground this time around. This is a fantastic ward to have, and as such, it looks like that surprise hook won't really be happening. BNZ hunting for Rock'n'Roll, but he won't find him just yet, or at least he found him but won't find his opening. So 5-8 at 8.5 minutes into the game. And it looks like things slowing down just a little bit. The rotations, I mean, there is a pretty heavy rotation from Keha in the bottom lane. BNZ is there with Matarigma. They are going to try to look to bring down this tier 1 tower, at least put some hefty damage on it, but Oh My Swift is coming in. Now the Observer Ward spotted him, so the Dire know to get themselves back. And that'll be a failed rotation from Oh My Swift, though he's got the Tranquil Boots. He's moving around the map very quickly. He's also going to go for that Aether Lens quickly, which is evident by the Arcane Booster, or Energy Booster, rather. And, I mean, Aether Lens is a really great item to have in the Pudge, extending that hook range and giving a little bit of extra damage. Personally, I'm a fan of the Aghanim Scepter Rush, but both have their merits. As BNZ up on the top lane is going to find Kitsune. There's no real getting away from this one if you're a Disruptor. I mean, they had so much commitment for that one. The damage was absolutely fantastic. He has no escape mechanism, and silence means he can't drop anything just as a last-ditch resort. So in cases like that, it's almost, you know, best to even just try for a TP, but even then he would have gone down and didn't have a TP anyway, so... Hook comes out, but it's going to miss. The range wasn't quite there anyway. It looked like a level 3 hook, but no, it's a level 4 as Rockroll is going to bring down Keho in the bottom lane, take a large amount of damage from this one, but it won't be enough to kill him. Goes right back to base via TP scroll as Mercy Touch could be in a bit of trouble. BNZ's waiting. Knows Oh My Swift is there, so going in for this is going to be pretty difficult. Has to have a little bit of extra support. Will get revealed as a Frostbite comes. Oh My Swift lands the hook, gets him with the rod. Even when he's invisible. I mean, there's way too much damage coming out from a level 4 hook to really survive, especially if you're Klinks. A Moomin Rider could be in a bit of trouble. The hook comes out, it lands on his escape. They gotta glimpse him. Do they have a glimpse? Where's Disruptor? An immediate glimpse right there would have been perfect. Oh man, some misplays coming out. By way of Kitsune, as Oh My Swift, he had that one. But even probably Squishy Fluffy, no, he couldn't have rotated into that. He's way too low on his HP pool. Those ranged Ancients, definitely not proven to be something he enjoys dealing with. As out of mana now, but with that arc, the Ring of Akala should be able to get himself a decent amount soon. Close to 1,000 in the bank, though. I'm kind of interested to see what he's going to go first, especially dealing with the Staff of Wizardry first and foremost. Could be he's going straight in for the oh, hold on here as Mataringma is going to get dismembered, and they've also got Moon Rider. They get him with the Crystal Field, or the Freezing Field. What a spell usage from Mercy Touch. Ends it a little prematurely, though. He probably could have farmed up some extra creeps, but a fantastic hook and even a better follow-up coming the way of Kitsune. However, he does lose his life. A 2-for-1, well worth it. BNZ's waiting in the wings, though. He knows better than to try for this Crystal Maiden. As even though he can kill her in probably 4 hits, or maybe just shy of 4 hits. Okay, actually a little bit more than 4 hits. It is Death Pact. He doesn't even have to. He's level 6 without Death Pact. I mean, I guess this explains a lot of why I feel like his impact hasn't been that fantastic. I mean, Death Pact is half of Klink's early game damage. Whatever. We've got a Desolator now completed on the Wraith King. So his farming speed, it ever increases. He's also got the Iron Talon to help, but Hook comes out. Now he does have his Reincarnate, so even though you drop all these spells on him initially, he come back. Kitsune takes a whole lot of damage from this, but there's no rotations back in. He's going to stay and try to fight. Looks for the Wraith Fire Blast of Kitsune, but he's taking way too much damage. He's got to get close, but he can't last all that much longer. Riding Rider comes in to clean up, but only finds Kitsune. Now Oh My Swift, he's lining up for the Dismember. 7 seconds if he just is patient. He might be able to get it off, waiting in the wings. He's also got the Tranquil Boots coming up soon as Klinks brings down Rock and Roll on the bottom lane. Squishy Fluffy not there fast enough, and Oh My Swift lines up for this hook attempt. Throw it out behind the tower. Guesses and doesn't guess right as BNZ looking for Squishy Fluffy. Now remember, this is a no Dark Pact Klinks, so he needs help, and he gets it by way of Mataringma. Turns around with the... Oh! It was a Dagon for Squishy Fluffy. Brings down BNZ and gets out alive. Sometimes you don't even know anymore. 13.5 minutes, 11-2. Squishy Fluffy's hanging out because he knows that there is no Klinks there to take him down. And Moomin Rider, or Riding Rider's up on the top lane, so the surprise initiation from a PA is not going to work out either. So Speaking of PA, Riding Rider's going to grab the Helm of the Dominator to help out with some early farming speed. As Kitsune drops down the Static Storm in preparation for the hook from Oh My Swift, but it looks like the hook will not land, or at least wasn't thrown, and therefore the Static Storm won't land. As BNZ walking under his own Sentry Ward spots out the hasted Oh My Swift, who will now move in for the Wraith King. Turns around for a Wraith Fire Blast, but a bit too late as BNZ will bring down Mercy Touch. But the big kill here is the fact that this Wraith King goes down. No Reincarnate up. Mandarigma is close by. BNZ is also looking for Oh My Swift, but remember, this Pudge still has haste. He's actually going to turn around for BNZ. Throws a hook, gets it out. One swipe and chop and right down. BNZ will be killed, and even though Mandarigma diving in to look for a little bit of extra from that fight, he drops down an Observer and a Sentry Ward just in case, you know, that might be useful in the future, especially with ganks into the enemy jungle. It's Mandarigma now looking for Squishy Fluffy. Remember, though, this Nature's Prophet's got a Dagon. All he's got to do is turn and fight, and Rock Roll's there. The Dagon's out. Rock Roll gets the kill, though. Riding Rider now comes in looking for this anti-mage, gets the double crit, needs one more attack and gets it off. Maybe a bit of a shallow blink. Squishy Fluffy also, and a bit more than he bargained for, but the Frostbite, and now the Freezing Field. Mercy Touch is going to get the kill there. And BNZ waiting in still does not have Death Pact. Oh, he will still look for Mercy Touch. Frostbite is up and running. He's turn around and cast it, gets it off. He's also got a Dust. As in comes Oh My Swift and BNZ. This is why you get Dark Pact, or Death Pact, dude. You would have 3-shot her if you had it, but in the end, looks like it's not going to work out, and it looks like Dire already calling it. Perhaps a bit early. We're still only 16 minutes into the game, but we've had just under 2 kills per minute. Whole lot of action, and who does that favor more than anyone? Oh My Swift on this Pudge. 10 Flesh Heap stacks already. Oh boy, looks like Dire having a bit of communication errors, or at least just straight toxicity, and that's not something you really want to have in this position of the game. Rock Roll could be in a lot of trouble. They get the Wraith Fire Blast, and a crit comes through, though the hook will find Mandarigma. They're now also looking for the Wraith King. They come in with Squishy Fluffy. Now remember, he's got Reincarnate. The Dagon will secure the first life. Kitsune is there with the Kinetic Field and the Static Storm, though it looks like Wraith King trying to TP out, but won't get it. Oh My Swift with another hook, grabs him from close range, and they'll get another kill. A 2-for-1, though. Rock Roll is not something you want to have die. Mercy Touch in a bit of trouble. 1 hit, 2 hit, no crit. Kitsune's there, but they have no follow-up, no way to spot him out. The Dust was not popped on the Crystal Maiden. So Squishy Fluffy will go right back to the bottom lane. What is this? Oh My Swift, I guess, grabbing HP from a creep. BNZ. I think the natural reaction to this would be to check Roche and make sure he wasn't just dismembering Roche, but Oh My Swift being on the bottom lane eliminates that possibility, or at least makes it a very, I guess the way to put it would be unlikely for it to be happening. As Mercy Touch is going to walk right over BNZ. BNZ is going to be careful. I don't think he's going to initiate on this one. Learn from past mistakes. Also an Aether Lens completed on Mercy Touch, giving him a little bit of extra range, something that a Crystal Maiden really can struggle with. So, looks like Squishy Fluffy will position under the top lane. Does he have a Blink Dagger anyway to initiate just yet? No. He'll look for some off-harass from some of the Treants, but they're all going to go down. Gives lots of experience. 2K, huh? But the pings come out. It looks like Rock Roll wants to make his way up and go for this. Now, they got to be careful of the Tier 1 tower. Plenty of enemies can rotate in, but Rock Roll doesn't care. He's going to go straight into K-Huh. Immediately, we've got TP. Oh My Swift comes in. They land the hook, and that is a very dead Venomancer. Of course, Rock Roll taking a bit of damage from the tower, but the TP that was originally coming is no longer going to come, as, well, you still have a Dismember up on that Pudge. And now Squishy Fluffy will bring down the tower. 1,500 gold, could be looking for the Dagon level 3 now. I mean, plenty of magical burst coming out from this Nature's Prophet. BNZ, though, and they'd be in a bit of trouble. They dust him out. They know he's there, but can they find the last bit of damage? They'll glimpse back Matarigma, interesting enough. Squishy Fluffy comes in with a Dagon, though. There is a freezing field, but way off the mark. Oh My Swift will throw a hook. Misses, but I think they got a little bit of vision from that. No, they have no idea he's not there. Squishy Fluffy can just one-shot this tower. They need Matarigma, though, and they won't get it. They ping out where he was, but that TP, and I think the NTP, particle effects show long after the fact, if it was in the trees when it was going on. So with that tree sprout giving that flying vision, they probably saw that there was a TP and it was completed.
Guess what's happening today?
Looks like Moomin will be looking for a Basher soon enough. So he's about 800 gold away from that. Not too terrible. Mercy Touch after the Aether Lens. I mean, could be going for the Blink Dagger, but I'm not sure. We've got Kitsune finishing up a Mechanism, though, with Rock Roll, opting not to go at all for the Battle Fury, instead going for the very old build, which is the Rush Vanguard, and then going into the Yasha, and to whatever else you want from that. Typically, Manta Style is the best item for an anti-mage to get, because it scales so damn well with your Mana Break.
'Tis mine.
Is Mana Break unique? Yeah, it is. See, the weird thing about Mana Break is it has the same effect, sort of, as Diffusal Blade, but one's the unique attack modifier and one isn't. However, the effects will not stack as Squishy. Okay! Squishy Fluffy, he ends up canceling his TP for that kill. Now gets himself trapped, so was it worth it? Probably not. Kitsune is there as well, so very much not worth it, unless they can bring down the Wraith King, but this is a very tough kill for them. The Blade Mail pops, so Oh My Swift, we've got the freezing field, and Riding Rider getting very low, but will not go down. Oh My Swift is in very deep. BNZ's there. Squishy Fluffy will be back in 30 seconds. Oh My Swift, he's got another hook. Might just want to throw it out for good measure. As Rock Roll comes in, will pop out with the Mana Void, grabs 2 with it, but won't find any more. Wraith King, no Reincarnate for 140 seconds. The Wraithfire Blast, Rock Roll taking so much damage with the Desolator. BNZ comes in, and they will bring down the Anti-Mage. Of course, spam pings from Kitsune. I can compete with that. Let's do this. Still going. Okay, there we go. Definitely a little bit of, maybe some salt right there, whatever the case. I mean, Anti-Mage probably didn't have to die there, but in the same vein, none of them really had to die. Squishy Fluffy had the TP out. If he hadn't gotten greedy to go for that Skywrath Mage, he would have lived. And then you had Kitsune going in way after the fact, or at least, slightly after the fact to go in and help, and he got brought down shortly thereafter. And then, it was kind of a comedy of errors from that point forward. But, I mean, again, every single one of those kills that just happened there probably did not have to happen. But we'll look past that right now, as we're saying 24-20 at 22 minutes. Oh My Swift with the Blade Mail now completed. We've seen it come to use a couple of times, but nothing really too substantial. Personally, again, I'm the huge fan of the Aghanim Scepter, but to each their own. As Riding Rider, with that Basher completed, ready to go, I mean, he's going to be dealing a whole lot of damage from this point forward. Still's got to be careful of those hooks coming through, especially when the Aghanims eventually does come out. That is a very low cooldown, high damage, BKB piercing nuke that, I mean, is only a skill shot as much as you make it. The end effect, or the end result of the skill, proves to be that if you get close enough, you can just straight keep hooking someone further and further in. As Riding Rider, the Dagon comes out. The Bash still hasn't become useful yet. Squishy Fluffy has not been Basha. Looks like he opts to pop some spawn Treants, but doesn't get it off. Squishy Fluffy will get brought down, but in comes the Wrath of Nature, which will bring down 2. The second, though, which is BNZ on that Clinks, will actually drop to someone else, but the damage was sizable enough you can credit him for the kill. Oh My Swift going in for a follow-up hook to bring down some other fringe outlier on the fight, but won't find anyone. Still, getting the Wraith King could be huge. He still has Reincarnate up and actually went for the Blade Mail, so it's going to be tough to bring him down. But tough does not equate impossible. So the rest of the Radiant will back off after getting that tier 2 tower. The I guess the efficient thing to do would be to push out, bring down the tier 2 mid, and then maybe try for a Roshan if the Roshan becomes too heavily contested, back off and control the Dire's jungle. Because right now, fighting into the entirety of the Radiant lineup is going to be hard. Not only do you have a Nature's Prophet that can participate very well in team fights with a level 5 Dagon, but also you've got a Pudge with a very sizable nuke. You've got plenty of ultimates that can have a profound effect on a team fight. Whereas Dire, I mean, they've got a lot of damage coming out, but not a whole lot of tank aside from the Wraith King with the Reincarnate. But if everyone's dead, the Wraith King won't last that much longer. The one real condition here for the Radiant to win the fight is getting the Venomancer down without him getting his ultimate off, or at least minimizing how many heroes he gets the ultimate on, because that Poison Nova can have the effect of just straight up winning a team fight for the Dire if the Radiant aren't careful. So Rockroll is not going to go back for that Battle Fury at all. It seems he wants to grab the Basher as soon as possible. And I mean, it's an anti-mage. He most certainly can farm this pretty quickly, but the reason you go for this build that he's got, it really is in and of itself still a farming build, but one that can fight a little bit earlier. I mean, right now is his ideal time to fight. If you had perfect farm, or at least good farm on an anti-mage, this would be the time you can fight with the Battle Fury build as well. So that's kind of why it got phased out. This anti-mage style, that is, because the timings really didn't make that much of a difference. As Mataringma will get brought down, there is a hook. There is not really detection for BNZ, but Torque Touch will come out, gets the dust off, and now BNZ in a lot of trouble. They move forward with the Rot, which slows them down. Meanwhile, we've got the Wraith King dropping very quickly to Oh My Swift. The Freezing Field proving to be way too much damage for him. Poison Nova comes out, but it looks like it might not be enough. Wraith King will drop, so too will K-Huh. Rock'n'Roll just blink forward, gets 2 or 3 right clicks off. Actually needs 1 more after this. They'll bring down the PA, though. Rock'n'Roll still will get K-Huh and won't die to the damage over time. Squishy Fluffy also surviving through it. A 5-man wipe, and all they get is Oh My Swift. A buyback from Riding Rider as he TPs into the middle of this one, but the glimpse back is pretty much a giant middle finger. And of course you gotta have the BM, why not? So a buyback kind of wasted on the side of the Dire as Radiant pull yet another fight and advantage 26 minutes in. And systematically, if they were to play their objectives, you know, get the mid-tier 2, get the Roshan, maybe smoke to find a pick and then push the high ground, then they win this game in the next 10 minutes. But wasting time or just straight pushing high ground right now would probably be suicide for them. The Poison Nova's up in 50. Actually, 50 seconds is kind of their timer, I think. Like, they don't have a Reincarnate for 70, but they also don't have the Poison Nova for 40. So you really, this is a window. This is a huge window for the Radiant to secure their advantage. I mean, they can definitely go get a Roche and get a Rax in that period of time. Or at least, very least, just get a Rax, as Oh My Swift will bring down Mandarigma. They also get Riding Rider. This is another huge window for them, as that is a dieback. They get the Wraith King here, they win. But they don't. They still can put themselves in a great position to win. But I think they need to really, like, you know, do something right now. I mean, they've got 3 lanes pretty much pushing in. The mid, the only one really not as close in as the others, but they're kind of grouping up on the high ground right now, playing this one very cautiously. And this is one of my major issues with this build on Anti-Mage, is because you can be so damn aggressive with it, going for this Basher right when he did. But going back to my earlier point, that the reasoning of the timings, they don't really differ. Actually, hold on, Squishy Fluffy could be in a bit of trouble. BNZ might be going for him. They've got a couple, actually, as Oh My Swift will reveal with a Hulk coming out, but it does not land, so pretty inconsequential. But to talk about this briefly, I mean, you consider an anti-mage, right? Goes for the Battle Fury build, which is very possible to do, even if you get kind of shut down in lane, because going into the jungle just takes a bit of tread switching, or tread swapping, and having a Perseverance. That's all you really need to jungle with an anti-mage. But past that, all right, The timing for that would be ideally a 14 to 15 minute, but with the lane he had, I'd give him a 15 to 16 minute Battle Fury. 3 minutes after that, you've got a Vladimir's offering. Like, that is not, no joke right there. You legitimately have a Vladimir's offering 3 minutes if you get your Battle Fury by 16. So 19 minutes, you've got the Vladimir's. And then about 20 minutes in, 20 to 4 minutes in rather, you've got your Manta style. And then that puts you at the same spot where he was at 24 minutes, where he had the Vanguard completed, Yasha, or just Vanguard Yasha. So the fighting style ultimately is not that different. In fact, I actually put him higher up with the Battle Fury, because the benefit you have with that is the fact that the Battle Fury plus Vladimir's gives you more regen, more sustain, and in the end allows you to farm, then fight, then farm, then fight a lot more efficiently. But the Basher that he picked up might be one of his, well, okay, well, I got a Basher earlier. Well, that's not exactly the case, because you get the Manta style at 23, 24, your Basher's done within the next 2 or 3 minutes as well. So at this point in time, you probably have the Basher at the same time. Only thing different about this would be he wouldn't have a Vanguard, he'd instead have a Battle Fury, and he wouldn't have the Phase Boots, he'd instead have Treads. So that's kind of why the Treads Battle Fury build is the most popular, is because the timings are about the same pre-30 minutes, maybe even faster with the Battle Fury, but the efficiency at which you go, you fight, and then you go and you farm is a whole lot better with the Battle Fury. So that's the general reasoning here. And while you can argue that Vanguard makes you tankier with the better raw HP that it gives and some decent regen, I mean, that one's pretty negligible when you factor in the tread swapping, the more damage you get with the Battle Fury, and I mean the HP that you get from right clicking. I mean, lifesteal boosts your effective HP by a whole lot. So I don't know. Yes, I know, I hate vouching for cookie cutter builds, but as far as anti-mage goes, you really can't get any more efficient than the Battle Fury build. You really can't. And in cases where you're severely shut down, I still don't think I'd go about Vanguard. I think, at the very least, a poor man's build for me on the anti-mage would result in treads, drums, perseverance into Battle Fury. Like, you'd still get Battle Fury. Maybe you just get the perseverance, go into a Yasha then Battle Fury, or go into a Manta then Battle Fury, but it's like a Spectre and Radiance. There really is no time limit to get the Battle Fury. As long as you're not rushing it, you can get at any point in time. If you're rushing it, likewise, if you rush a Radiance and a Spectre, you want to have it by a certain point in time. But if you're, going after it after 1 or 2 items, then it doesn't matter when you get it. It just matters that you get it, because its effect is just so good as Squishy Fluffy will go down. Orchid completed on a BNZ. It's level 14 with only 1 point in Dark Pact, though. I mean, okay, he's got 2 points. That makes me feel a little better. Actually, did I just misread the 1 point? Yeah, I probably did, because there's no way he skilled it that late into level 14. As Rock Roll could be in a bit of trouble. Wraith Fire Blast comes out. Rock Roll pops his Manta style. They've also got a Freezing Field. This Anti-Mage, he goes out for the Mana Void, and, I mean, he kills himself with the Blade Mail, but that is only an Aegis Immortality that goes down. However, 3 silences! Really, I think it was only 2. You had the Orchid and then the Arcane Seal, but it looked like 3 for some weird reason. In the end, though, the Anti-Mage will go down. A 3-for-1 is the trade. And, I mean, we talked about wasting time on the Radiant. Now I think we're starting to get into that dangerous territory where, yeah, they wasted a little bit of time. I wouldn't say their game's slipping through their fingers, but they really got to get All My Swift back. And they really got to start moving with this Pudge. He's been one of their biggest impact heroes so far in this game. 14, 4, and 6 is his total score with 19 Flesh Heap stacks. Pretty unheard of at 31 minutes. Not impossible, but definitely a benchmark that you got to strive to. Meanwhile, the Nature's Prophet's been having a sizable effect as well, but he can't do this one alone. BMZ looks like he wants to hunt under the tier 1 tower for some kills. I'd be interested to see if he actually gets one, though. Got an Arcane Rune, so, I mean, Death Packs come pretty low cooldown, as well as everything else. This pause, I think I'm going to skip past here, because I talked for a long period of time on the Battle Fury in the last pause. Looks like, there we go, the unpause coming through. It's so unfortunate that Oh My Swift is gone here, but the Radiant have to make do with a poor situation, I think. And just look to try. Meanwhile, the Dire, if they want to play this one smart, I mean, first of all, you got to have respect and pause for your enemy, right? But that looked like a sizable pause. I guess I can understand why the game would be unpaused right now. So really, I mean, I wouldn't say it's their fault. But if they want to capitalize on this, and this is hypothetical, they want to just push, straight get towers. They're 4v5 right now. They can rely on the Pudge not being able to land his combos reliably, and even if he does, the follow-up might be rather ineffective, given how many heroes would then operate, because you put in your focus to get the Pudge hook, then the hero that you're initially commanding is going to be idle. So you're fighting effectively every fight 4v5. So push down towers, get the tier 1s. That's a good chunk of gold just sitting there in the bank for you guys. I'm pretty sure like, what, 1,000 to 2,000 per tower? Just waiting to be claimed. My Swift's, whatever demons possessed him, will go after Keha and miss the hook. They do get the Sprout though, but Squishy Fluffy, I mean, that is a real big issue for him. My Swift, though, with the Aether Lens, gets a very long-range dismember. However, he is also going to go down. Pops the Blade Mail, perhaps a little bit too late. Rock and Roll is going to come forward, though. Gets a kill on to BNZ. But now he's going to be very careful about this. Oh, wait, no. Wraith King's out of mana. Has gone for the Moon Shard, though, which he's hitting for a good amount of damage. Rock Roll doesn't stop. He goes forward on this one. Wants to go out and bring down the freezing field, but the immediate bash, still Rock Roll gets the kill. They'll bring Riding Rider back. They'll hit him with the Static Storm. He cannot get out of this one. Only has to relinquish the damage, and he'll get brought down. The Radiant salvaging that one from what seemed to be a very lost team fight. Gotta give him a whole lot of credit now. 34 minutes and Rock Roll making a sizable impact right there, getting rid of all the mana of the Wraith King, and then being able to just blink forward and bring him down. Lots of follow-up from his team as Squishy Fluffy should be able to now come in and help out with this tier 3 mid push. 40 seconds for the PA. No buyback on anyone on the Dire. The Clinks will be back very soon. They can definitely get this tower. Poison Nova comes out, but Keha is dead. So they just gotta focus this one down, and they got it. I mean, there's really no contesting this. So an early Rax, 35 minutes, will be Rock Roll just hit the... Okay, I guess this is good. Make it through the creeps, gonna attack the Rax as soon as possible. Rock Roll, you just gotta be careful not to run away from this one. He can definitely get this Rax if he tries. Though Clinks will bring down Kitsune in the back line, so this is not going to be a full-out victory for the Radiant, but still with the Rax crippling the Dire is going to be well worth it for them. Squishy Fluffy will fall for this, so it's not without collateral. Rock Roll moves forward to BNZ. We'll go ahead with a poison, or the Mana Void. Gets another kill onto BNZ, and then we'll go ahead and blink out. Mercy Touch going to pop himself with a Glimmer Cape, lasting for just enough time, maybe to get into the trees. Riding Rider, though, saw him on the tail end. Mercy Touch just has to juke this one out, but the vision was enough. Riding Rider is able to chase him down. Losing vision up the high ground, but Mercy Touch does not have enough time to get around those trees. Or maybe does he? No, he does not. So Riding Rider will get that kill. But still, they're down a mid-Rax. The Pudge, Oh My Swift, has gotten himself an abandon. So not ideal coming out, but I mean, I guess at times it just happens. So they got to maneuver Oh My Swift for them. He's at a point now where you can probably send him to rot in your allied jungle camps and then get a whole lot of gold out of nothing. Like, no one's farming their Radiance jungle right now. So you pop rot and send him into a camp, right from the regen, pop rot, send him in the next camp, maybe dismember a couple of times, and you're looking at an extra 200 gold income, or 100 to 200 gold income every 20 seconds or so. Which, you split that up 5 ways or 4 ways, that's an extra 50 plus GPM. for a hero. That's huge. Squishy Fluffy now going to take a bash. He's got himself the Necronomicon units, which are draining Riding Rider's mana, but unfortunately it probably won't drain him enough. However, the Sprout lasting long enough for the TP out. BNZ coming through, but they have vision of him with the Necronomicon units, so they'll spot the fact that he's inside the Radiant Jungle. BNZ, though, still hunting. Can probably find Rock Roll. The issue is Rock Roll does have the BKB and the Manta style, so whatever BNZ does is not going to be effective against the Anti-Mage. So Rock Roll. You run right past this Clinks. Clinks, I don't know if you want to go for it, dude. They've also got the Skywrath. I think they're hoping for the double silence, but remember, he's got two ways to counteract the silence. Comes out, the first one with the Manta style, now has a BKB if he wants to pop, but doesn't. Now goes for it, gets the Mana Void out onto the, oh, actually, they'll get it onto Mandarigma. BNZ also going down the freezing field enough to get him. Wraith King wanted to join the fray, but perhaps a little bit too late, as Anti-Mage now will regen up at 9.2 HP per second. Also had a mechanism to help him out, as Riding Rider brings down Squishy Fluffy. Looks like to be on the top lane. For 38 minutes in. Actually, Squishy Fluffy almost bringing down K-Huh, but won't be enough. That's an Aghanim Scepter. Venomancer too. Riding Rider now completing a BKB of his own. No sign of any True Strike on the side of the Radiant, so it's not like they can easily bring down the PA either. I mean, they're relying on the fact that the Pudge Hook does enough damage to burst them within range of maybe a Dagon or whatnot, but if you rely on right clicks, you're going to have a really bad time against PA. He's not making really adequate use of Oh My Swift. I wonder if he comes back this game. I mean, this could be a story. I mean, I've come to expect anything from replays being sent into me. This could be a dire comeback. I mean, looking at the graphs, it looks like it's already possible. It's showing the makings of a small comeback, and maybe they win it off of an abandon. I mean, I guess you wouldn't exactly send in a replay for that, but maybe the Radiant are boasting that they won it with an abandon. I don't know. I come into these games, I come in and I cast them. I do not look at any games beforehand. I mean, I have to look at like the kill scores and whatnot because you get that on the download page, right? And when you bring up the match, but I couldn't tell you how many more kills happened this game because I don't remember them at all. I quickly breeze through them, even though I get a glimpse. I don't look at who wins, and I don't look at the kills and whatnot, so hopefully I'm as bipartisan as possible. As a Radiant, go ahead and get rid of a Venom Ward. They come forward, though. It looks like they want Mandarigma, but they don't quite have enough damage. No, they do! That kind of sucked for Mandarigma. But looks like things happen as Oh My Swift, he's returned. The Pudge, now level 18, so not really near the top of the board at all, but he's returned, now goes forward. Riding Rider already suffering from this Pudge. However, turns around with the bash. They move forward to Riding Rider, though all they need is that Dagon. The BKB is about to end. And here we go. Riding Rider already feeling the pain from that Pudge comeback, and now buys back again. The second buyback he's committed this game. And we'll have to see if he ends up dying back this time or if he's actually going to make good use of it. Whatever the case, Rock Roll getting bashed off of a ranged stifling dagger will pop the BKB. Now blink forward out onto the Wraith King, who turns around and right clicks. So, I mean, he's going to go down here, though. Wraith King will still hunt for more. The Poison Over comes out, but it's only going to hit on the Mercy Touch and a couple of illusions. Riding Rider taking a bit of damage from said illusions and the Freezing Field, but both will go away soon enough as BNZ will find Kitsune on the back lines. Meanwhile, Squishy Fluffy with a DD moves in for Riding Rider, who realizes this one is like, nope, 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 nope. They've also got the Curry with a haste. Squishy Fluffy could be in a bit of trouble. As long as he doesn't get bashed, he may be fine, but instead goes for the tower. A very interesting play on his part, but it goes pretty heavily punished as BNZ is also looking for another kill here, this time onto Oh My Swift. But that's a troublesome kill. I'm pretty sure he just dies to the blade mail if Oh My Swift reacts fast enough. Aestru now popped by the clinks. The hook comes out, but it's a little off the mark. Kind of an interesting hook goes into the trees there, but I guess it was expecting the clinks to run around and go up this... Oh, I can't draw on the map. Oh, that's right. You can only do it live games. Nice. Expecting the clinks to go up and around the bend, but instead the clink goes to the east and gets himself out of his hands of the Pudge. Does Pudge have a gem at all? No. So even if he did land that hook, I don't think he would have been in range of this Sentry Ward for anything, any sort of follow-up. Radiant or Dire now grouping up to try to find another attempt. Oh My Swift will go forward onto the... Oh, this is trouble. They come in with the... Okay, the Blade Mail will kill Mandarigma. The Oh My Swift does end up going down. I mean, a trade is a trade. And of course, Mandarigma goes down first, so Pudge gets the experience from that one. Mandarigma does not. Keha will also now get a Blink Dagger, so he can dive bomb quite a bit more effectively. As BNZ will make his way around. Squishy Fly. Okay. Once again, this time it actually works. Now pop some Treants and go in for the tower. He's got the Necronomicon units. He just wants the tower. He doesn't even want to try to fight, but there's backdoor protection. I mean, in a nutshell, I think his best plan would have been to try to get the ranged Necronomicon unit on top of the Wraith King and then go in for, I don't know, sprouting him next to it to try to get some damage off, drain his mana. But whatever the case, Riding Rider by the Roche Pit will get brought down in a tag team effort by Mercy Touch and Rock Roll. Squishy Fluffy. BM's coming both ways, but I don't know, that was a really aggressive maneuver from him. In typical cases like that, when you dive that far for a kill, it might be best just to TP out immediately. Like, even at the risk of them coming after you and blocking your TP, you're not dealing any damage to the tower. The best you do is you spawn some creeps, you spawn the Necronomicon units, and you feed 500 or so gold. Like, that's the best you can hope for in that situation. Which I guess is really bad. So yeah, just TP out. Worst case, you give up your own life. Radiant will bring down the Roshan at 44 minutes. Kill score being 50 to 37 right now. And with that dismember, I think the Dire know this is going on, but really, what do they do against it? Mandarigma. Oh, he's got the Wraith Aura, so will regen help his Lyra right clicks. Squishy Fluffy. I mean, he technically could have done that. Ideally, I think it'd be hilarious if the Radiant had a ward. Like, I don't know, I think right here it doesn't get spotted out. So at any time it seemed like someone was retreating, he could just go in. As speaking of just go in, Rock Roll, this one's pretty aggressive, but he'll bring down Mandarigma. The poor Venom, oh sorry, the Mana Void does not quite reach the poison, the Venomancer. I'm slipping on my words right now. So they will still get the tier 3 bottom though. We'll even get these racks. I'm not quite sure there's any way for the Dire to stop this as late as they've reacted to this one. So it seems you can just go for the tier 4s. No, I think they're sending their creeps up to the high ground. BNZ taking a Dagon and a Wrath of Nature. Meanwhile, Rockwell moving in for Riding Rider. They've got the Basher, but the BKB popped. Will just blink right out of the Static Storm and going for Mercy Touch. Will pop himself into the Glimmer Cape. Riding Rider, another bash comes out. Keha tries to go in. The Freezing Field is out, but the Blade Mail is going to kill her. Unfortunately for Riding Rider, he also goes down. There's going to be the Aegis Mortality now popped. Rock Roll can just turn and try to fight, but the hook back will save Rock and Roll's life. They're going to hold him in with a Dismember. Rock Roll looking for Keha, but remember now, the Void Poison Nova is a Aghanim Scepter upgraded Poison Nova. Rock Roll needs to get himself out of there, but he's popped the spells too early. Still goes for the Blink. BNZ, he's got the Orchid. Now turn and fight and bring down Rock Roll. Meanwhile, Oh My Swift is down the top lane. Still, the tier 3 has fallen, which means the racks should be short to fall soon. So long as the Radiant don't end the game right now, which is entirely possible. Or plausible, I wouldn't quite say possible. Multiple MKBs actually being completed by the Dire, which is Interesting enough, I mean, I don't see any of them going for a butterfly at all. It looks like Animage took a step back to go for the Vladimirs, which I can agree with. But yeah, no one building evasion. MKB purely, I guess, just for some damage or mini bash. I mean, having that mini bash against someone like a Crystal Maiden or a Pudge is really useful because you can stop the channel. So why not? Especially on a ranged hero, that mini bash is going to be brutal. There's Wraith King and Klink's now moving in. Swishy Fluffy is coming back in this one soon, but it looks like Wraith King just wants to go for this. Brings down Kitsune. And Mage now bought back. Glyph being popped. I think you got to be really careful if you're the Wraith King here. Rocco's going to move forward. All he needs is just one bash. 2 seconds, one for the blink, but ends up not going for it. Instead, turns around for BNZ, gets him. Meanwhile, Squishy Fluffy will bring down K-Hood in the mid lane. So push out mid, push out top, win the game, I think. It's going to be a buyback from BNZ, though. So Squishy Fluffy could very well be dead. No way to survive this. There is a reincarnate, so even though he could probably turn and maybe try to bring down Wraith King, his best option, I guess, would be to just run, but he'll go down. Hook comes through, and now it looks like Wraith King wants to bring down the Pudge. Oh My Swift will blink away and disjoint the Wraith Fire Blast, though. So the Radiant must wait another 70 seconds before they can really just straight push, but I don't think they're that worried right now. There's going to be the dagger coming out, but looks like another blink to disjoint. Rock roll, tries to blink himself away. The blink forward, though, and then it looks like the Wraith King being brought out. They need to drain his mana, though. Need 2 more hits, and he will get off the reincarnate. Rock roll goes down. That was a buyback. 100 seconds on the board. Oh My Swift is also dead. Freezing Field out. Kitsune dropping very low. Mercy Touch also in a whole load of trouble. The Dire, have they done it? 60 seconds without Radiant alive. I think this might be it. 49 minutes in. 54 to 49. 80 seconds on the board for the Anti-Mage. I mean, all the Dire have to do is on the game right now. They could easily get the mid-racks, maybe even the top, or just the mid-tier 3 and end. They definitely have the damage to just straight end it right now. But looks like we'll see what happens. They go in for the tier 3 tower. BNZ will deal a significant amount of damage to this, and yeah, it will drop, though. Oh My Squishy Fluffy, he's going to go for the Mega Creeps here. Now, this is a very risky play, because if the Dire just end it, Mega Creeps don't mean jack. But if the Radiant can defend, then this is going to be huge. Looks like the Mega Creeps are going to happen. No, Squishy Fluffy will get brought down. No buyback, though he just needs to get his creeps to deal a little bit more damage. Only a touch more. Gets it! Mega Creep spawned. The Ancient is now exposed. 3 seconds for Oh My Swift. Riding Rider is in a bit of trouble. They just need to bring these guys down, and they could secure it. Riding Rider, he's dead. So too BNZ. Oh boy, this is a massacre. Not a massacre, but a huge, huge big issue for the Dire. Another reincarnate from Wraith King as Keha will make his way in, but the Mega Creeps are now spawning, and pushing in is very difficult for them. Oh man, not to mention Klink's being down for 100 seconds. And who really pushes out Megas very well? I mean, none of them have Battle Fury, none of them have Maelstrom, none of them have Vlads. They have no way of defending against wave upon wave of Mega Creeps. Oh no. Dire had it. They had it in their hands. I think they left way too many guys to either defend or maybe just got greedy. I said they could end it right there, and I still stand by that. But I guess I'd have to watch that again. Honestly, it looked like they had 2 guys defending, which, you know, for someone like K-Hood, it makes a little bit of sense. I guess for both of them, it makes a little bit of sense, but they went after the mid-racks. I think if they wanted to go for the all-out end-it play, they just get the tier 3 and then straight bring down the racks. Like, not even worry about anything else, but in a case like that, you get the tier 3 and then the racks and you back and defend your own racks, or you get the tier 3 and then the Ancient and you win the game. But they went for the tier 3, the racks, and then they went for the Ancient, which was an incredibly greedy play and opened up the Nature's Prophet to rat them out with almost no consequence. So whereas now the Radiant are only down one set of racks, well, would you look at there? The Dire are now dealing with Mega Creeps, which we talked about. They don't deal with very well. I mean, we can take a look. They have to park one guy on each lane, pretty much, to survive this. And they deal with it very slowly. Like, I'm not even totally sure Riding Rider can bring down this wave before the next one comes in. Yeah, just barely. So the Radiant, they just gotta wait for the Roshan, then go for that one final death push, and they're good. We'll have to see when the Rosh respawns, though, because it could be a very long respawn. We could be waiting for quite a long period of time. There's a Maelstrom now completed on the Venomancer, exactly what he needs to be doing right now. Will it be enough, though? We'll have to see. I guess the premier thing here is that we need to see if the Roshan spawns in an adequate amount of time. So they'll wait in for the pit, and the randomized timer says 1.5 minutes. All right. So it looks like we'll be waiting here for about 1.5 minutes before the Radiant decide to push, or they just go for it and throw caution to the wind. Whatever the case, the Dire will try to defend as best they can. That's a Necronomicon 3 being completed by Kitsune. Interesting. Daedalus, or sorry, Crystallis being completed by Squishy Fluffy. Rock Roll. I don't really see anything he's going for. 3,900 gold. He can go for really anything. I would imagine the smart play would be to finish the Abyssal, but also you could build in towards an MKB. Oh, my Swift got 1,200 gold. Went for the Boots of Travel and Aghanim Scepter. So I really like this. And Mercy Touch has a Scythe of Vice on the Crystal Maiden. Alright, this is the kind of thing that you know when the game's going bad, is when the Crystal Maiden is able to afford a Scythe of Vice, and a Disruptor is able to afford a level 3 Necro. 30 seconds in for the Roshan, though. We're looking like we're coming close to the end game here. Rockroll spots out the PA, but will not be able to go for him. This is really patient from the Radiant, albeit incredibly inefficient. Like, you could spend this time farming your own jungle, but whatever works. Alright, Roshan's back up. Now we get to see the fun part. Multiple pings come out. I can do it too. Let's do it. Yeah. So the big guy will be dropping. Aegis and Cheese will be going to the Radiant. Wonder who picks up who. I think Rock and Roll would definitely want to grab the Aegis. Maybe drop his Vanguard or his Vlad's, one of the two for it. I would guess the Vlad's might be a little bit better, but I'm not opposed to dropping the Vanguard. It looks like he won't grab it. Meanwhile, oh my Swift. Okay, he drops his Phase Boots. Okie dokie. Grab the Abyssal then. You need to be able to lock someone down. And he will get it. Okay, so now I'm not as upset with dropping your Brutes. I mean, he is moving at 350 movement speed anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much. The Manta Style helping him out a lot. We'll move forward, get the Abyssal on the Mana Rigma. Gets him down. This is enough time for him to get the Mana Void off. But doesn't end up going for it. Instead, trying to find Riding Rider, who gets the Mana Void, but not at that much low mana that he does any real damage. Still, they get the kill. Now, Wraithfire Blast comes out. This is the Wraith King's second life, is doing a whole lot with it. Brings down Squishy Fluffy, but will get brought down himself. Rock Roll will go ahead and bring down BNZ. A buyback from Rock Roll, a buyback from the Wraith King. Get Oh My Swift, or at least drop him pretty low, but the Wraith King taking so much damage from the Megas and the Necronomicon units. Oh boy, and now Oh My Swift will go for the BNZ. 2 diebacks, and that, I think, is it. The Ancient will drop shortly thereafter, and fighting through an Abandon, even, who then comes back, but I don't know, 56 minutes in. A hell of a game to be played by both these guys, and definitely a fun one to watch. Of course, well played to the Radiant side. Thank you so much to the donator who sent in this replay. I really enjoyed casting it for you. I hope you enjoy watching it. If you guys like the video and want to see your own featured on this channel, you can go ahead and send me an email or check the description of this video for more info. $10 a request, whether live or recorded. I don't discriminate. Also, you can go ahead and like, favorite, subscribe, whatever flows your boat. In the meantime, guys, that's it for now. I'll catch you all for the next replay.